us have a session on parasitology. Now, to understand what is a parasite and the related details, let's first of all understand what is a disease. Disease is defined as any functional or physical deviation from normal state or normal health that leads to a discomfort or a disability or causes impairment of health, that is called as a disease. Now here the word health, what exactly does it mean? World Health Organization in 1948 defined health as not just absence of disease, but it's a state of complete physical, mental, social and spiritual well-being. Spiritual word was added little recently, but physical, mental and social well-being is what is called as health. And as I just now said, any deviation from this standard health or from the good health, it's called as a disease. Now, disease has certain symptoms. Mind well, symptoms cannot help in diagnosing the disease, but they indicate possibility of a particular disease. Symptoms are certain signs, certain indications which point towards a particular disease, possibility of that disease. Can be diagnosed by certain means that are available. Now, what causes a disease? Variety of reasons can be cited. Disease can be genetic in origin. I'm not saying congenital, I'm saying genetic. Genetic in origin, can be physical in origin, can be chemical in origin, can be biological in origin, or can be nutritional in origin. Genetic is something which is inherited in form of genes or chromosomes or aberrations in them. Physical could be an accident, a trauma, a shock, or whatever. Chemical could be intake of certain toxins or accidental inhalation of certain toxins that can cause a disease. That could be chemical in origin. Biological could be the pathogens or the other factors which are biological origin. Nutritional disorders, the food which we take in, the nutrients which we take in, the vitamins, the minerals, whatever we take in, disorders related to that, they come in this category. Broadly, diseases can be classified as congenital or acquired. Congenital means right from the birth. Now, mind well, when I say right from the birth, I don't say genetic. They may be genetic, they may not be genetic. Non-genetic means what? The disorders which happen at the time of birth, maybe in the process of birth or during the process of birth or after the process of birth, but just at the time of birth, whatever disorders appear, they come in this category. These are not hereditary. While hereditary diseases could be genetic in origin or could be chromosomal in origin or similar factors. Other category, as I said, is acquired. Acquired which appear later in life, not at the time of birth, not genetic in origin. They appear later in the life. These could be non-parasitic or it could be parasitic. Non-parasitic could be deficiency diseases, they could be hormonal diseases, they could be degenerative diseases, different types of cancers, allergies, they are all non-parasitic. While parasitic are those which are caused by certain parasites wherein the human being functions as the host. So these parasitic diseases or diseases which are parasitic in origin, they can further be classified in a number of ways. One is on the basis of pathogens, on the basis of parasites which cause the diseases. We can identify them as viral, bacterial, protozoan, helminthic, fungal, and so on. That is the pathogen which is causing it. On the basis of that, you can identify these categories. Or on the basis of their transmission, they could be communicable or non-communicable. Non-communicable are the ones which are seen only in an individual, which may not be transmitted to others. So single host it will be. While communicable diseases are those which could be transmitted from one individual to another. Now that transmission could be through various means. Could be direct transmission, that is by physical contact, or by droplet infection. Droplet is through the sneezing or coughing, droplet infection, or through animal bites, or through transplacental transmission, and so on. While indirect transmission could be through vectors, that is carriers or carrier hosts you can call them, through vehicles, that is food, water, milk, etc. Or through fomites. Fomites is the utensils or the shared clothes or that kind of things. They are called as fomites. So that transmission could be through any of these. Now let us get a detailed account of parasite-host relationship. Okay, so let's understand something about the host to start with. Now there is an established relationship between host and the parasite. When we talk about the host, it is that organism in which the parasite stays, grows, maybe multiplies, and it causes a disease in the host. So host is the one that is affected by the parasite. Now host could be basically two types. One which is called as a primary host or a definitive host. That means a host in which major part of the parasite life cycle is completed, and that is the one wherein the disease is caused. While secondary host or the intermediate host is the one in which the parasite completes part of its life cycle, but there is no disease caused. And it is this host which transmits the parasite from one primary host to another primary host. There is something called as a reservoir host. It is that host in which the parasite stays, grows, and but there is no disease caused, so the parasite continues to stay there. New parasites can be added to that host. In short, that organism becomes a reservoir for that parasite, from where the parasite can get transmitted into another host and continue to cause a disease in it. That's called as a reservoir host. Paratunic host. Now this is not compulsory part of the parasite life cycle. It is a kind of intermediate host, but there is no disease caused. There is no part of the life cycle which is completed. In short, it functions as the dump for the parasite. It's called as a paratunic host. Incidental host. Normally, the primary host and secondary host are fixed for a particular parasite. But at times, the parasite may be transmitted into a host which is neither its normal primary host or the secondary host. It's a different kind of host in which the parasite gets accidentally transmitted. It may survive or it may not survive there. which is called as an incidental host. It has been a known fact that every parasite needs a specific host. That means the host specificity is one of the characteristics of the parasite. Now, it may be the primary host or it may be the secondary host, but both of them are specific for the parasite. Specific to what extent? Specific to the genus and species extent. That is, if we talk about maybe Filariasis, Wuchereria bancrofti is the parasite, for which the primary host is essentially a Culex mosquito. Normally it's a female Culex, because male Culex generally grows on plant sap. So female Culex mosquito is secondary host for Wuchereria bancrofti. Primary host would be human being. So that is specific for each parasite. What kind of specificity are we talking about? It is the structural specificity. That means the parasite has a particular host requirement depending upon its life cycle to be completed in the host, maybe primary host or secondary host. Which organ, which part, which tissue, that is all particular for a particular parasite. So host specificity could be, in short, for one side, a structural specificity. Structure of the host, the tissue, the organ, whatever. Physiological specificity. That means parasite needs a particular physiological state wherein it can stay in the host, release the toxins which could get modified, which could be denatured, which could be absorbed, or which could be transmitted, whatever. But that's a physiological condition of the host which the parasite needs specifically. Ecological specificity. Ecological specificity, it refers to the particular environmental conditions, ecological state in which the parasite seems to be developing. That means a particular country, a particular region of the country, a particular environmental state, a particular ecological niche wherein the parasite prefers to grow. Now that's about the host part of the life cycle that we are talking about. The parasites and the other aspects of parasite we will talk about in the next section. Keep watching these videos, like them, subscribe to them, and share amongst your friends and family. Thank you.